Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you to today's presentation sponsored by the Society of Decision Professionals, which is entitled The Importance of Clarity Around Objectives. I would like to introduce you to our featured speakers, Frank Cook and Krista Wormkins. And now, Frank and Krista, I'd like to turn the presentation over to you.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks, Brig. So let's kick this off. Today, Krista and I are going to be talking about the importance of clarity around objectives, and we're trying to do something a little bit different than standard presentation, and have this a little more conversational. So we're just going to be talking through a series of slides and sort of expressing our thoughts about why it's important to be clear on objectives. So I'm going to go to the first slide, Krista. Okay, so value-focused thinking, and again, this is based on work that Ralph Keeney has done, and I'm sure most of you know Ralph. Ralph made the point that the standard way of thinking about decisions is backwards. People start with identifying alternatives, and then later think about their values and objectives and how well the alternatives may accomplish those objectives. I found that by turning things around and actually starting to think about your values and objectives first, sort of reframes the whole decision process. If you think about the elements of decision quality, starting with the values and objectives may actually give you a more appropriate frame. A lot of decisions I've seen people basically start by framing it around the answer. There's some smart person that knows what to do, and so they start with the answer and then often reverse engineer things. By thinking about what you want to accomplish, it broadens the frame a bit. It also tends to give you a better, more comprehensive set of alternatives. Rather than just the ideas you have at the start, you start thinking about other ways to achieve those objectives. And finally, it just improves your reasoning about how well the different alternatives satisfy the objectives. And so today our conversation is going to be focused on understanding and articulating your objectives in a clear way.
And it's kind of interesting because sometimes you'll get real pushback from people on, but I already know what I'm trying to achieve. I don't need to go through an objectives hierarchy. And I think Frankie pointed out, sometimes what you want to achieve really is quite obvious, and then there probably is no value in trying to use a tool like this. But a lot of the time, and this is certainly our experience in downstream, our opportunities are not that self-evident. They could be multiple objectives. They could be really poorly defined. And so we found that using an objectives hierarchy is a really good way of going after what Ralph suggests here, which is, focus on what you want to achieve and then use that to drive your framing process.